What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Gotta Get Back, the Samurai Jack and Review Show. My name is Kyle, your host, guys. Thanks for checking out Project Potter. This is episode 33. We're in season 3 here, guys. If you haven't seen the show before, we're doing a recap of the episode. We are doing a favorite character, a favorite scene, a score out of 10, and some trivia, if there is some trivia for this one. So yeah, we're going to kick it off here, guys. You already know the deal. This episode begins with Jack walking again. But that's okay because he's going through sort of like a large open area, almost like a desert. There's like a small little island of trees in there. And Jack is feeling relaxed. He's feeling good. I don't know why he's feeling so good. Because if remember last time, guys, he was going against the time portal. He got knocked out and he was carried off by a dragon. And so it's kind of weird that there's like no follow up to that. He's just kind of walking around. So I don't know if he just started roaming around or whatever, but he runs into this creature who resembles a lot like Totoro, like this big, goofy, like cute creature that's like kind of like a pet and kind of not. So this is just known as the creature, but you'll see behind me here. So it starts like licking him and it's following around. There's actually a good amount of humor in this episode where Jack is walking away and he's like, "Why do I feel like I'm being followed?" And he looks around. He looks behind him and it's not there. But then we cut back out and it's like behind him, it's slowly going and he's walking through. And then there's like a funny bit where he slowly steps forward and we hear the footprints and then he slowly steps again. We hear the footprints and it's like the shuffling. Jack quickly turns around and it moves behind him and then he turns back the other way and moves behind him. So it literally floats, which is really funny. And yeah, he's just going and he still thinks that something's following him. The sound, I've said really in season 2 it started, the sound is excellent in the series. That's not any different in this episode because Jack is going through a forest and there's all these great exotic bird sounds and all these different animals, and it sounded like the real animals, so I'm sure they got those real sounds. If not, they had amazing fake sounds. But it's peaceful and Jack's going through and he finally doesn't have beetles going at him, or he really doesn't have to fight for once. And this creature is hanging upside down like Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man. And it just reveals itself to him basically. And Jack is like, "Oh, this is so foolish." And it's really running back and forth between the trees with this big dumb smile on his face. And Jack is like, "All right, I'm just going to go, dude. I don't know what's going on here." But he walks away. There's a really angry squirrel for some reason, because squirrels are the worst. But he cuts down a bunch of berries and he's about to eat the berries. And he goes to eat it, and there's a funny shot of the creature looking at him, and his mouth is watering, and he it's almost in a trance. It's actually really funny. It's well animated, and so Jack gives him one, and then it keeps asking for more. And Jack is like, "Dude, I need to eat these," but he ends up giving most of them because Jack is a softie at heart, and so they're hanging out through the woods, and he's going to catch a deer, but then the creature gets in the way, so he shoots the arrow into its butt basically. He's going through what looks like an acid river, but apparently not, because he just goes through. The creature's just following him everywhere, so he goes up on a mountain. He's going through a bridge and he messes up the bridge. He's in an underwater cavern, so he actually does use it to climb up on the side of a cave, and there's an opening and there's a jewel that will bring him back to the past. Of course, there's so many of these things everywhere. And he's like, "Wow." And there's no monsters, no enemies or anything. And he's like, "Wow." He's like, "I'm sorry that I was a little impatient before." He's like, "I thought you would get in the way of me achieving my goal." But he's like, "You actually helped me achieve it." And he's like, "I'm sorry, we must part ways." And the creature gets sad. He's like, "I know, but I must go." He's like, "Nothing can stop me from reaching that jewel." And then the creature turns and looks at it, and then he just eats it. And they're like, "Dude, come on." And Jack is like, "No." And then there's a really cool sequence where changes into white, black, and it changes on all these forms, and then it throws it up basically into a lava pit, and this disintegrates the lava and basically gets rid of it, and the crystal is gone. And Jack is like, "I can't believe you just did that." And so they go back to the open part, and they have a fire, and he's hiding behind the rock, and he's sitting there, and he's moping, and he's like, "I cannot believe what you did." And the creature's all sad, but then it goes to sleep next to Jack and falls asleep, and then he checks to see if Jack's there in the morning. He's freaking out, and he's kind of giving out these meows really. basically. And Jack goes over, and there's like clearly inspired by like Grease Lightning, or Grease, these robots. So there's like their hair slicked back. It's a good little bit because they're playing like Wild Ride or whatever, and one of them's got like a comb that he goes through, but it's like just metal, so it doesn't actually like comb anything. And they just start shooting at Jack for no reason. They're just like outlaws basically. And yeah, eventually like their car crashes, but then Jack's going against these robots, and he has trouble with them only because one of them has like a blow dart, or like 3 blow darts that go in there, like basically like kill his arm, or his arm is dead. And so he like can't pick up a sword, and they eventually overpower him and they start beating him up. And this gets so bad that Jack starts like, he's taken down by these 4 robots, and I'm like, Jack, you faced way worse creatures than this. So this was a little weird, but the creature hears Jack scream, and that like triggers him, and then he goes Super Saiyan, dude. He changes into this big, so he goes from this little blue like fluffy creature to this red. He transforms into this red, huge like demonic, like rage-induced creature, and just absolutely destroys these 4 robots. There's a really good scene where the last robot's hiding behind the rock, and he's dripping oil like he would be sweating. So I thought that was a nice little nod there. And he just gets eaten. So, and then as soon as that's done, the creature turns back into this little blue dumb thing, and then it goes over, and it like Jack is kind of passed out. He's unconscious, but he's not dead by any means. And the creature's just like crying, and then the tears actually wake up Jack, and he's like, he looks around and he sees that all the robots have been destroyed, and he saved his life. And then he feels kind of bad, and he gives him a smile. And then the creature's crying, and he's like, ahem. And then it gives him a big hug, and it's like a cute little moment. And then he's like, you know what? He's like, there's a village down there. He's like, maybe we can find some shelter. And then like they walk into the sunset, and the creature's high-fiving him. And yeah, Jack apparently forgave him, like that he ate the crystal. But I think he knows that he like made a mistake, but he did out of love, and he knows that that creature's probably not very intelligent. So he's just like, it's not worth fighting over. And also he's run into so many of these things. He's probably like, dude, there's probably like 500 more crystals I can go after. So it ends on like a good note, but that is how the episode wraps. Okay, guys, for the magic sword, I have to give it to this stupid, bumbling, dumb, idiot creature. It's dumb, and it's walking around, and it's fat looking, but it is, there were some funny bits, and it is cute. Like, I don't know, it's like half dog, half like it's based on Totoro. Apparently, I haven't seen Totoro, but I know it's like a famous cartoon kind of like that with the big creatures, and they got a big heart. It reminds me of like Big Hero 6, which I love that movie. So I don't know, it's a good design. I like that it's like fiercely loyal to Jack, and even though it made a huge mistake, it ends up like literally saving his life. So I don't love that Jack just got taken down by like 4 random robots when he's literally fought like the Imakandis and like Aku and all this stuff. But every now and then Jack needs someone to watch his back. So this creature who's just named the creature, I like that it transformed, and it did have some funny parts where it was like hiding from Jack and stuff. So it's gonna get my magic sword for this week. For Portal in Time, guys, this is a good one because it's just that last scene I was just talking about where the last robot is hiding behind the rock, and he's just dripping oil, and it's supposed to be sweat. And I was like, this doesn't make practical sense, but this is a good little nod. It just looks really cool when it's like the black oil dripping down his face. So signifying that he's nervous when obviously robots don't get nervous. So that is my Portal in Time for this week. I just thought it was a nice little touch. Score for this one, I'm gonna give it a 7.2. It's not a crazy episode, but I did like how it was like it was endearing. It was nice that Jack was like, cold at the beginning, and then he ends up eventually warming up to the creature because it saves his life. And so it was nice that there's a bit of love there. I don't know if it sticks around or not, but even if it's just a one-off episode, it is a nice little change of pace, and especially because we came off such an action-heavy episode, at least to the ending last time. But yeah, I didn't love that they didn't like follow up with that at all on Jack, how he just like literally was fighting for a time portal, got knocked out, got carried off by a dragon, now he's just walking in the desert. I mean, I guess we can just assume that he just continues on his way, but it was a little weird that he wouldn't like go back to question or whatever. But either way, it's an okay episode. Okay, guys, so for Jack Facts this week, like I mentioned before, this is heavily based on or pays homage really to the anime director Hayao Miyazaki. And then the creature itself resembles Totoro, which I talked about. Also here, the crystal of Cagliostro that Jack seeks resembles the levitation crystal from Castle in the Sky and is named after the castle of Cagliostro. So again, I don't know what those two things are, but I'm sure they are famous like animated things. Totoro I've heard of before, and I know it's a very similar design. So it is cool that Genndy paid a little tip of the cap to that. So that is our only Jack fact for this week. Okay, guys, that's it. That's another episode. We are 33 down now. So like I said, we're more than halfway. We're making our way through season 3. So thanks for checking out the channel, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell notification, check out the other content on the channel. You already know we keep going here just as Jack does. And until next time, guys, got to get back.